Right. 3 February 2025. And today is the Monday. So we have a very interesting day ahead of us. This is going to be one of the most important days in the history of Zimbabwe. I've been saying for a very long time that there is something that is going to happen. There is a process that is going to take place, and Mnangagwa is going to be removed and is going to be replaced by a transitional system or a transitional authority. And this is going to happen very, very soon. I've laid out in the past what is going to happen to Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa is very weak at the moment. All it will take for Mnangagwa to leave is a little poke and he's going to tip over. Mnangagwa is very, very weak at the moment. The problem that we currently have is the lack of someone who is willing to step into the shoes of Mnangagwa. So at the moment, there is a lot of action taking place in ZANU-PF. People are fed up with Mnangagwa, and overnight, the war veterans have come out, led by Blessed Geza. They've come out and issued another statement, another press statement, and during this press statement, they've once again called for Mnangagwa to step down. And as I said to you yesterday, Mnangagwa has been given 10 days to step down or face action. So this is the first tweet that went out. That's about 2 days ago. However, the war veterans have now come out in person and they've issued a statement asking Mnangagwa to step down. They've also appealed to Mnangagwa's family to tell him that the time is up and he must leave. And the key takeaways from this statement is that people in the army, people in ZANU-PF, and the nation at large, they want Mnangagwa to be gone. And this has to happen now. So I'm going to play for you a little clip from the press statement. You can go and look at the full video at Hearts and Soul TV. But let's see what they said overnight.
You have failed this nation. You have failed us. And you have succeeded to put your family on the fore as one of the worst, the most hated in the history of the world. You can redeem yourself by doing the right thing. Step down. Free this country from incompetence. Your lack of probity has preceded you. Ndiri kutaurira comrade. Imwimwi vana vake nemudzimai taurirai baba kuti zvakwana.
Right, so that is a hard-hitting statement. Taurirai baba kuti zvakwana. He also invited all the people that have left the country. That is Jonathan Moyo, Kasukuwere, Mzembi, all the former ZANU-PF people. He's invited them back home. He has invited back all the business people that have left the country. And he says the country is in the wrong direction and Mnangagwa is the cause. Mnangagwa is the cause of everything happening in Zimbabwe. Remember what he said last week? There was another press statement last week where he spoke again. And he says he's a member of the Central Committee of ZANU-PF and he's not scared. So let me show you the statement from last week.
It is clear to us that Mnangagwa is failed. He is not fit to run this country, and his time to go is now. We ask him to go peacefully. If he refuses to take heed of this advice, we have no option but to ask the people of Zimbabwe to deal with a rogue president in line with the constitution.
Right, so that is 2 weeks in a row. The statement's coming out, and Mnangagwa is not going to do anything because the military, the Zimbabwe military, is supporting what the war veterans are doing. The Zimbabwe military and all the higher levels of the security structures of Zimbabwe, they are agreed that Mnangagwa is the cause of the problem in Zimbabwe. You can also go and check out the other speeches that were made by these guys here. There is 4 senior war veterans who are attending these press conferences. This is not a joke. This is serious. So Mnangagwa is going to go within 10 days. They've said Mnangagwa must go within 10 days. However, I'm seeing people here saying that Geza doesn't have a Twitter account. I'm well aware that Geza doesn't have a Twitter account. I've got his number here. If I want to call Geza, I can call him anytime. And he doesn't even have WhatsApp. He's that kind of guy. He's an old school guy. But that is not the point. The point is that there is a whole group of people that are not happy with Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa is putting his family in danger. He's putting himself in danger. Currently, as things stand, anything can happen. And what is going to happen is not in the control of Mnangagwa. There is too many people who are unhappy with what Mnangagwa is doing. And we've reached that point that I was talking about. The next thing that is going to happen. So remember what I said. Day one was when Chwienga boycotted this presentation by Mnangagwa at Mbungu. That was day one. That was on 31 March 2024. So we have reached a year. This month we're going into, February, is 1 year since Chwienga boycotted Mnangagwa for the first time. He did not go here. This was the first open defiance. After Wikno Chivayo went here in a helicopter with Mnangagwa. What you're seeing now is, after the failure, you see, there was a failure to deal with Mnangagwa throughout the year. And what was expected was that during the SADAC summit, the opposition would deal with Mnangagwa. However, the opposition failed to deal with Mnangagwa during the SADAC summit. And this made it the job of ZANU-PF to remove Mnangagwa. Because if the ZANU-PF if Mnangagwa had been removed during SADAC summit, then it wasn't going to be a problem. But Mnangagwa managed to outmaneuver the opposition, and now the job was left to the war veterans, and specifically to Chiwenga. Chiwenga is next in line, and at the moment, what is happening is that Mnangagwa wants to put his family and remove Chiwenga. So he wants to remove Chiwenga and put his family. And this is what you're seeing at the moment. You're seeing people who are sympathetic to Chiwenga making efforts to avoid that removal of Chwienga. Yesterday, there was a rumor that Mnangagwa wants to remove Chwienga. And Mnangagwa is coming back in the office today. He's officially back in the office today. So today, you're going to see another action coming from Mnangagwa. However, day two has not arrived. And day two is the day when you see Chiwenga here and Mnangagwa here openly fighting each other. And then day three is the removal of Chiwenga. So those 3 days must come before Chiwenga takes over as the president of Zimbabwe. However, if Chiwenga fails to do what is necessary, you're going to see a transitional system led by people who you don't expect. So people that you don't expect are emerging. So people like Geza, people like Knox, Mdara Bernard Manyadza, Mkoma Hepson Manenji, all these guys that you're seeing here, they are emerging to fill a power vacuum or a leadership vacuum. So there is a leadership vacuum in ZANU-PF. ZANU-PF is led by groups of people with interests. So people like Wikno Chivayo, they're now becoming prominent players in ZANU-PF. You've got the youths who are paid, who are becoming prominent players in ZANU-PF. You've got people that are hungry, people that need support from Mnangagwa, people like Mohad here. He can barely walk. He's on oxygen almost all the time. So you've got people with interests and appointees, people who are appointed who don't want to rock the boat, people that don't care about the people, and the people who are in the military who are appointed, new appointees who are not yet stable in their positions. So the job is now left to find a leader who is going to lead people in ZANU-PF and remove Mnangagwa. And I'm looking at this level that I was talking about. This level here is very, very important. This level of top generals who are coming from the war is going to remove Mnangagwa. And that removal is going to happen very quickly And this time, it's not going to be bloodless. So what is going to happen now is not going to be bloodless. There is going to be a fight. And that fight is going to happen very, very quickly. However, chaos is going to follow, resulting in a transitional system. A transitional system doesn't come without bloodshed. So you're going to see a transitional system coming, but before it comes, you're going to see bloodshed. You're going to see people dropping at the top. So this team you're seeing here, by the end of whatever is going to happen, by the end of the next 10 days, you're going to see something very big. I marked for you the day of 27 December as the day which was supposed to, something big was supposed to happen. However, Mnangagwa has not done what he was supposed to do, which was to fire certain people around that time. And we're now looking at the action of the war veterans and the reactions by Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa is going to start reacting today. He has to stamp his authority. And while he stamps his authority, we're going to see a reaction by Chwienga. If Chwienga doesn't move, he's going to be taken out. And if he's taken out, then there's going to be a vacuum. His whole team is going to be taken out. People sympathetic to Chwienga are going to be taken out, including the war veterans. So all these war veterans that you're seeing here, they are willing and they are ready to fight. And it's a fight to the death. So someone is going to die. It's not going to be what you know in the past, where people just talk and someone goes away. You are going to enter a very big period of instability within the next 10 days. And remember, when I tell you these things, I'm not talking about things that are or have happened. These are things that are coming. And this is from my analysis of the situation. This particular month of February and the month of March, those are critical months that are coming ahead of us. But Chwienga has to take leadership if he's going to be the president of Zimbabwe. And we're going to see the firing of Chwienga first. Before Chwienga is fired, he's not going to be the president of Zimbabwe. It's not possible. He cannot become president without removing himself from under Mnangagwa. That has to happen first. And that is preceded by a public fight between Chwienga and Mnangagwa. So look forward to that. It is almost certain to happen. Now, let's go to some news. I hope I've covered this. This has been 10 minutes. So I hope I've covered it in detail. Now, I want to go to a very critical case and shocking development in the DRC. So South Africa is in a deep crisis today. So South Africa has got 800 soldiers in the DRC who are being held hostage. 800 soldiers, South African soldiers, are being held hostage by M23 and the Rwandan army. So there are two groups of South African soldiers. There's a group of South African soldiers inside the airport, and there's a group of South African soldiers with SADAC soldiers. That is Malawi, Tanzania, and South Africa, who are at a military base. Both groups have been disarmed. So the group at the airport is allowed to handle their guns. They are allowed to keep their guns by Rwanda. So Rwanda is in control of the airport at Goma. They allow them to handle the guns. However, they're only allowed to use their guns to shoot at looters. So there are people who are looting at the airport. So the South African soldiers inside the airport are allowed to have guns to help with controlling the looters. However, they are basically also being watched. Then there is a group or a large group of SADAC, UN, and South Africa, which is a military base adjacent to the airport. They've been totally disarmed, and South Africa is failing to enter the country because they cannot land at Goma. So South Africa cannot land at Goma, and South Africa has got no helicopters that can reach that country. So they cannot reach the DRC. So the DRC is very far. I think when you've flown, for those who have flown to the America, to the USA, when you're flying to the DRC, it takes so long. Let's say 6 hours. In a helicopter, it will take longer. So there's no helicopter in South Africa which can reach this place and then extract the soldiers. So what has happened is that SADAC and South Africa in particular have got these, let's say, thousands of soldiers that are held. And the only people with helicopters that can reach that country, which are in SADAC, that is Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and probably, let's say which other countries could have, probably Zambia. They could have helicopters that reach Goma. They've not given any assistance. They've refused to assist. And the only country that has agreed to assist is Madagascar. So Madagascar has offered medical help to South Africa, but no one wants to cross Rwanda. No one wants to cross Rwanda. Therefore, the soldiers are stuck over there in the DRC, 800 South African soldiers stuck in the DRC. And at the moment, there is a lot of confusion because no one can negotiate with the rebels. The president of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, has not initiated any negotiations with the president of Rwanda. So there is a stalemate where the South African soldiers are just being held and nothing can be done. No movement is taking place. And the families are only able to communicate with the soldiers through satellite phones. The satellite phones have been given to the soldiers of South Africa by M23. So M23 just give you a phone, you line up and you call your wife, but they're listening to everything that you say. So that is crazy, a crazy situation taking place in the SADAC, a useless bunch of people led by Mnangagwa. They will not be able to do anything except to beg for mercy. That is what these guys are. This is a mess. The biggest problem with SADAC is that Mnangagwa has assisted in rigging the elections in the DRC, he's assisted in rigging the elections in Mozambique, and he's also rigged the election in Zimbabwe. Last year, I went to SADAC. So I'm not talking about things that I don't know here. I was inside SADAC here, and when I arrived at SADAC, the purpose of my visit to SADAC was to ask SADAC to intervene in Zimbabwe after the arrest of more than 130 opposition members, including the leader of the opposition party in Zimbabwe. I traveled to SADAC, and these guys were so nonchalant, they don't care. And this is happening because they allowed Mnangagwa to do whatever he's doing. I wrote to President Cyril Ramaphosa, the president of Tanzania, Samia Suluhu Hassan. I wrote to President Hakainde Hichilema at the time. I flew to Zambia to talk to the leaders of SADAC at that time during the SADAC summit. This was the developing situation or the development of this situation that you're seeing in the DRC. Mnangagwa then put his people all over SADAC to rig elections, resulting in what you're seeing right now, lack of credibility for SADAC. And all these soldiers that are stuck right now is because when the presidents of this region were watching the situation developing, they did not care, they did not act. And Mnangagwa's actions are now starting to come back to haunt SADAC, especially the 800 South African soldiers who are stuck right now being held captive. If M23 just wake up and they decide to take them out, they can do it. They've got no one to stop them because these guys are at their mercy. Unbelievable what is happening over there in the DRC, where a whole army has left their soldiers and they're not making any effort. When I say no effort, I mean there is nothing currently underway besides what was proposed at SADAC summit, which is to have a meeting between SADAC and IAC. There is no effort, there is no call, there is nothing. If you're a South African soldier right now stuck at Goma, you're by yourself and you've lost contact with your command, there is no one helping, there's no one coming, and your food is being taken. So every single piece of food that is available, which was supposed to be for the South Africans, is being taken. The weapons of South Africa that went to the DRC is going to be left there to the rebels. They are not bringing back those weapons. They are going to be taken by the rebels, M23 rebels, are going to have all the South African weapons. Whatever guns have gone there are going to stay there. Whatever equipment, cars, they're going to be left there. And remember, I showed you those huge amounts of cars that have been abandoned. They've all been taken by M23. So crazy situation happening over there in the DRC. And this is unbelievable. SADAC, what a joke of an organization. Now let's go to General Chwienga once again. So General Chwienga is the man of the moment. So you can go to Mini, so Keno Mini Baloy. So she's Mini Baloy. If you go on Facebook, you're going to see the pictures that I'm showing you now. So Chiwenga and his 4 sons have been inducted into what is called the Catholic Church. What do you call this thing? So he's been inducted into the Catholic Church, and with his 4 sons. So Immaculate Conception of the House of Nazarene in Harare yesterday. So it's called the Catholic Guild. So guys, I'm not a Catholic. I don't know anything about the Catholic. So he was inducted with his 4 sons, and you can see Chiwenga's 4 sons here. So that is Chiwenga at the center, and his 4 sons here on the left and on the right. And let's see what their names are. So that is Kudzai Chiwenga, Tawanda Chiwenga, Kudakwashe Chwienga, and Takudzwa Chiwenga. Those are the sons of Chiwenga. They've been inducted into the Catholic Guild. Very proud moment for him and his family. And obviously, that is them walking out there. And you can see also what has happened here. That is this guy who does skits. I think Mini has put it up there. Very interesting. And Chiwenga, it's clear that Chiwenga has the charisma for a president. I'm certain that you all agree that Chwienga has got the charisma of a president. He will be able to hold together the country. He's obviously the front runner here to be the president after Mnangagwa. The problem that I'm seeing, and I want to point this out, is that Chwienga does not want to chop the head of the beast. So Chwienga is moving too slowly. And when I say too slowly, I mean things are deteriorating. Shops are closing. Right now, as we speak, the country is running out of food. And what is needed is someone that can call this and say it's over. And that is where people want Chwienga to show up. At the moment, Chwienga is allowing the situation to develop for too long. And he needs to act. So Chwienga needs to step in and support the war veterans. The war veterans are coming out and talking. The time for Mnangagwa is up. What Mnangagwa is doing is totally crazy and unbelievable. So Chwienga needs to step in. He needs to take a risk. And this needs to happen as fast as possible. He cannot wait any longer and allow what is happening to happen. So I hope that Chwienga realizes that people are looking up to him and he needs to act. People are tired. They need him to act. And I hope that Chwienga does it this week, because we've got 10 days. The war veterans have given 10 days. If those 10 days pass and nothing happens, then Mnangagwa will get stronger and stronger. And vachabatwa vakomana vanobatwa vese vana Chwienga avamuzivi Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa is not going to let this go. So my generals, Chwienga, the war veterans, there's no way back from here. They have to go forward and they have to remove Mnangagwa. It's going to happen and it has to happen. There is no way that you can start this thing and stop. And whatever comes forward or comes next must be something that works, not what we have now. What we have now is totally unbelievable. Mnangagwa has turned the whole country into a mess. Then let's go to Chamisa. Nelson Chamisa is celebrating his 47th birthday. Chamisa, mpana wangu huyu. Chamisa, 2 years younger than Mkoma wake Gambakwe. Happy birthday to Chamisa, doing very, very well. And I saw Job Scholar also wishing him a happy birthday. You can go to his channel, the Chamisa News channel, and check out all the events that are taking place over here. So that is Nelson Chamisa celebrating his birthday. And you can go check out the Chamisa News channel. I love this channel. I watch it every day. I also watch the National Democratic Working Group, but they haven't posted on his birthday here. They just had a post on the economy. So we are at a critical point, a very, very critical point, and a lot is going to happen going forward. Today we've got a burial in Zimbabwe, in Bulawayo, of the 3 family members that were killed by their mother. So Happiness Chimbangu, she killed her husband and had 2 children while they were sleeping with a metal digger. They are being buried today, and she killed them at a house in Quadra Park in Bulawayo. And it's not clear why she's done it. A devout member of the Jehovah's Witness Church just went berserk and killed the family. Andy Hodges has come out and explained why he was fired. So you can go and check out here. Andy Hodges, a popular broadcaster and news anchor at ZTN, says that he did not do anything bad. He was fired because he refused to go to Kariba to cover a tiger fishing competition. So he's going to be forming a new podcast, and he's announced that all Zimbabweans should look forward to that. I'm going to try to get hold of Andy Hodges myself so that we can talk to him. But all I can say to Andy Hodges is he's got nothing to worry about. Zimbabwe media, every single day, has got over 100,000 views. And he's going to do well. He's going to make enough money. All he has to do is to work with other people. The media is very important. So let me tell you guys something. Munoona Tatenda Chiwenga kudhara vakazama kuvhara channel yangu. I'm just saying this so that you know. So many people have tried to close my channel, including Tatenda Chiwenga. They tried to close my channel. What you should know is that there is no permanent enemies and permanent friends. So Andy Hodges is well placed and well positioned to do well. Zimbabwe has got so much gaps. You can see Andy Hodges at the top there with all the ministers. You can be reduced if you're working for the government. You can be reduced from at the top, standing next to Tatenda Mavetera, to next day standing in a home with nothing. However, if you start your own thing, you're going to do well. No one can take it away from you. So I'm always trying to cover everyone fairly. And some people don't understand. Normally people don't understand why I do that. I learned a lesson when I was, so one time I did some work for Memjuru. And I became so engrossed in that work that for 6 months I covered nothing else. Then after some time I realized that something. If you're a journalist, if you've got your own media house, stay away from the group from the inside. So the advice I can give to anyone is start your own thing, and it will be very painful at the beginning. You have 2 or 3 views, but suddenly you gain traction and you're going to do well. People are going to come to you. Kana Mnangagwa akumanyiswa, achafonera Andy Hodges. Andy Hodges help me, because the media is there to provide information, not to take sides. And that is where you make your money. There's a lot of opportunity and potential in the media. Right, let's see if I've covered everything I wanted to cover here. Willard Katsande was in Zimbabwe. You can go and look at Yvonne Tendai Mangunda, Willard Katsande and his team, Itoko Sokas, who played FC Platinum and he's played Caps United, and Highlanders has got a new treasurer. President Hakainde Hichilema has traveled to Japan for a meeting with the president of Japan after he was invited, and President Duma Boko is addressed a funeral yesterday. You can go and check out the funeral of Chiepe, which he addressed yesterday. So that is President Duma Boko doing very, very well in Botswana. And obviously, Sekuruvena, the most popular person in Mozambique and the second president of Mozambique, Venancio Mondlane, doing very, very well over there. It's amazing what is happening. Our region is going to go through a massive change. But Zimbabwe, on the verge of one of the most important events, which is the removal of Mnangagwa within the next 10 days. If Mnangagwa is not removed within the next 10 days, you're going to see the removal of Chwienga, and a few people are going to die within the next 10 days. It's going to be very dirty. This is the time we've been waiting for. That's why you see people like Mchangwa are staying away from everything. People like Opam Chunguri are staying away from everything. This is time for men to act. So real men and some people are going to be killed. This is going to happen within the next 10 days, and Mnangagwa is going to be removed. If Mnangagwa is not removed, these guys must be very careful. They will be taken out. So this is not a time to hesitate. This is time for action. This is what I call a moment of truth, or a moment that we've been waiting for. Then the USAID has obviously stopped all aid. And what has happened is that in South Africa, USAID has stopped all payments. Any payment that USAID was making, they've stopped. They're only paying what was owing. So initially, they were making payments of about 550 million rands. Last week, they only made payments of 8 million rands. All of the projects of USAID have been stopped, and the actual organization, USAID, is being moved from its independent role, and it's going to be moved into the department. I don't know which department this is. Let me see before I say the wrong department here. Under the State Department. So it's going to be put under the State Department. This is shocking, and it's harassing many people in Africa who were employed only solely to do these projects, and they are now looking money and jobs. So let's look at the comments very quickly. I'm not sure about Geza's information. Zanu is playing Zimbabweans, right? That is Nkoma Munashe, and then hopefully he will put his sons when he takes over. He won't put his sons. Nkoma to me, yes. I don't think he's got sons. Oh, you mean Chwienga, right? Hopefully he won't put his sons. And then a bigger liar, Gambakwe, this is not news. Mnangagwa has been president for 5 years. And then Chwienga's wife can be a good Mnangagwa replacement. I don't trust Chiwenga. Let's see the wife. Do you think Mini can be a good president? I don't think so. I think Mini, Asrashika, Tamioyo, she's just like Chamisa right now. Chamisa, what is going to do? And I want you guys to understand. Chamisa is going to find himself a nice chair and some popcorn, and he's going to watch what is going to happen. The next democratic election in Zimbabwe is going to happen after 2035. The next 10 years are going to be the year of a transition, and anyone who attempts to stand in the face of the transition is going to face dire consequences. What is coming is very bad. Mnangagwa and Chwienga, these guys come from the war. We have moved from talking now, but the next stage is the most critical. No one is going to walk away. Mnangagwa is going to lose billions if he loses power. They are going to hunt down every cent that Mnangagwa has got, and Mnangagwa is not going to allow it. Family members of Mnangagwa are going to be in a lot of trouble. And I was showing you Sean Mnangagwa at the corner here, at the top there. Mnangagwa is grooming him. He wants him to take over. He wants Kuda to take over. He sometimes even wants Oxlade to take over. But this is not going to end well. And it's going to involve the army. The army will eventually have to come in and step in. And some very top senior generals are going to be in a lot of trouble. I'm talking here, this level of brigadier general with 100 people is going to be a fight to the death here at this level. of the brigadier generals. You're going to see a lot of fighting. And by the end of it all, only one person from this picture will be standing. At the end of everything that's going to happen now, there will be only one person in this picture who will be left standing. Everyone else will be gone. That is how bad the situation is. That is developing in Zimbabwe. Right, I think I've covered everything. I've covered the comments. Let's go to community. So there are two things I want to mention. Victoria Falls, we are currently accepting the forms to all those people that have received their offer forms. Fill in your form, make your deposit of $1,000, and make sure that you get a contract. And we are going to do very, very well. You're going to have your house, homecoming house in Victoria Falls. So that is the house that we're currently working on. And everything is in process. So 2 years, you have your house in Victoria Falls. I want to say to everyone that the world is changing. America is changing. Canada has just been slapped with 25% tariffs by Trump. And Mexico and China have been hit by tariffs. The economy is going to go into a lot of trouble. Come home and plan to come home and do well. Victoria Falls is going to be the center of everything going forward. High-speed rail is going to do very, very well. So do not play with these opportunities. Let's work together and develop our country, regardless of Mnangagwa and what it's doing. Then Mve, our sponsor, you can go pick up this packet, 200. So this is 200 grams, and you can pick up in Harare, in South Africa, in Johannesburg, and in Cape Town. And also we can deliver to the UK. This is an amazing packet with massive health benefits. So if you take this thing, you are going to have massive health. It's so much benefits. You can talk to me for it. And obviously, the guys in Bulawayo, this kit is arrived. So that is the ginger and honey. And you use it with the mve. So your mve must be down here. If you don't drink it, you won't have the benefits. Your 1 liter will stay 1 liter. And you don't want kickstart. So what you do with these things every morning, 1 tablespoon in boiling water, and also in the evening before you sleep, 1 tablespoon in boiling water. We have sent out cups to Harare, the first 20 people, and we're going to be giving Valentine's Day cups to all the guys who are in South Africa who buy. So if you buy in South Africa, if you buy between now and 14 February, you're going to receive a cup Dara. So WhatsApp that number and we'll let you know how to buy. By 14 February, you're going to have your cup Dara. And then in Harare, we're going to give every woman who buys a gift. We've also opened a new company or a new sponsorship, and we'll be letting you guys know about that sponsorship going forward. So I thank you everyone for watching. Tonight, Tanashe Jonas will be here and we'll be unpacking what Chwienga is going to do and what Mnangagwa is going to do. Jonas always has some secret information regarding this thing. So let's go back to the speech by the war veterans as I go out today. So last night, the war veterans did a statement overnight, and they've asked Mnangagwa to step down. So Mnangagwa has been given 10 days to leave. Otherwise, you'll be facing the consequences.
You have failed this nation. You have failed us. And you have succeeded to put your family on the fore as one of the worst, the most hated in the history of the world. You can redeem yourself by doing the right thing. Step down. Free this country from incompetence. Your lack of probity has preceded you. Ndiri kutaurira comrade. Imwimwi vana vake nemudzimai taurirai baba kuti zvakwana.
Uyo uko kuno abo ano mamuona kere mamuona kere maneso anovhura nzeve